Okay, friends, welcome back and happy Thursday. As I mentioned yesterday, this is a short week for us, and so our story is going to be something that we basically just hop into today. So normally we would do nouns on Thursdays, but we're not going to do them today, other than I'm going to remind you what a noun is, and then next Thursday we're going to dive a little bit deeper into them. So remember, nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. So nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. So for instance, any person is a noun. I'm a noun, you're a noun, my mom's a noun, somebody's dad is a noun, my nieces, your cousins, any person is a noun. So people, places, things, and ideas. So places is the next category. Any place is a noun. So for example, my house is a noun. My spot on my couch is a noun. The park, school, your house, your apartment, your dog's house, the water park, the sunflower patch, Peace Love Donuts. Those are all nouns because those are places. So nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. So now anything is also a noun. So for example, my table, my phone, my camera, my video, my couch, my pants, my Lion King shirt, my hundreds of pillows on my couch. Your ears are nouns. Your water bottles are nouns. Your school lunch is a noun. Pretty much anything is a noun. Like the printer, the computer, the bookshelf, even our book right here. This is a noun as well. And then the last thing, remember, nouns are people, places, things, and ideas. So ideas are also nouns. So for ideas, that would be like things that you can't touch, but that you can feel. So you might not be able to see it, but you can feel it. Like for instance, love is a noun. So being able to feel love would be a noun. Bravery is a noun. There are lots of different ideas like excitement, also like joy would be a noun. So different ideas are also nouns. So people, places, things, and ideas are nouns. Now, we're going to hop into our story so we have some time to read a little bit more. We're actually about to finish chapter 4. And if you remember, the last thing to happen was John was eating his glove, Anna was turning to chocolate. Then his bully named Spider came over and took his glove from him, but it didn't turn to chocolate for him. It was just like a dirty leather glove in his mouth, so he spit it out. And then John saw his friend Susan on the playground, and she asked him to come on over to her. So let's see what Susan has to say. As she came running to meet him, he could see that she was waving something in her hand, then flashed as if it caught the rays of sun. It was a silver dollar. It's a birthday present, she explained, showing him the dollar. Isn't it beautiful? The sight of such wealth made John forget the triumphs of his own day. That's an interesting word, wealth. So it says she's showing him a silver dollar. It was her birthday present. He said the sight of such wealth. What does wealth mean? Do you know what it means? Can you say it out loud if you know what wealth means? Yeah, I heard a couple of friends say it. Wealth is like having a lot of money. So she said she has a silver dollar in her hand, and he is like, oh man, I wish I was wealthy like that, or I wish I had that kind of money. It's a good present, he said. Are you sure it's made of silver though? I once got a whole bag of gold coins in a Christmas stocking, only they were chocolate coins covered with gold paper. Of course it's real, silly, Susan said. My daddy said so. You can feel it if you don't believe me. She handed him the coin. John looked at the coin suspiciously. All right, Susan said. Bite it if you think it isn't real. Go on, bite it. I'm going to stop there and make a prediction. At first, I'm going to remember that everything John eats turns to gold. But remember, it has to go into his mouth to do it. So if he just like touches something, it doesn't turn, turns to chocolate, silly me. Remember, if he just touches something, it doesn't turn to chocolate. But if he puts it inside of his mouth, then it does. And Susan is telling him, bite it if you think it's not real. Go ahead and bite this silver dollar, which is really like a coin that's silver, and see. So I'm going to make a prediction that John is going to bite it and it's going to turn to chocolate. Give a me too if you agree that you think that's what's going to happen. John looked at the coin suspiciously. All right, Susan said. Bite it if you think it isn't real. Go on, bite it. John felt rather silly. I can see it's real now, he said. I don't have to bite it. But I want you to, Susan insisted. You weren't sure. Well, make sure. That's what they always do on television. When a cowboy wants to make sure a dollar's real, he bites it. John put the dollar about halfway in his mouth and reluctantly bit it. His teeth went right through the coin. The part that had passed between his lips was hard but sweet chocolate. Susan could hardly believe her eyes. She had given John a complete circle of silver. He sadly handed back a crescent, which is kind of like make a connection there to a crescent moon. So first she gave him a coin, which we know coins are circular, and when he bit into it, he took bite of it. So all that was left was this crescent shape. So kind of like the shape of a moon, like this. John didn't know what to say. Susan couldn't speak. Tears trickled down her cheeks like rain down a window pane. She looked at the piece of dollar in her hand. She looked up at John, whose face was red with embarrassment. John, meet us, Susan blurted out at last. I hate you. She turned and ran away before John could think of anything at all to say. Oh, man, so this is a great time to think about how John's actions had an effect on Susan. So John knew that if he bit into this coin, it was probably going to turn into chocolate, because that's what happened with everything else he put into his mouth this day. And Susan was so excited and proud of her silver dollar, but John still decided to bite into it. So his actions of biting into that coin caused Susan to get upset because he ate half of her coin. I'm really wondering what's going to happen to their friendship after this. So we're on chapter 5 now, and I'll show you the picture here. Looks a little bit like a math test or something like that. We can notice that John's name is on the top. Looks like he's adding a bunch of numbers together. John hung up his coat, got his notebook and pencil out of his locker, and sat down at his small table just in time for the second bell, when Miss Plimsoll walked silently into the classroom. As soon as she appeared in the doorway, all the chattering and scuffling stopped. The 20 boys and girls sat straight in their chairs and looked straight ahead at the clean blackboard. Good morning, children, Miss Plimsoll said. Good morning, Miss Plimsoll, the class answered respectfully. Miss Plimsoll sat at her high desk, blinking her eyes as she surveyed the room. Then she opened a little drawer in her desk and pulled out a spectacle case from which she took her reading glasses. She removed her long-distance glasses, put on her short-distance glasses, and snapped shut the spectacles case, replaced it in the drawer, shut the drawer, tilted her head forward so she could look over the glasses on her nose, and said, This morning, children, we are going to have an important test. There were some groans and a few oohs and ahs. Miss Plimsoll lifted up one of her hands, and silence was restored instantly. No complaining, please, she said sternly. This test will show me how well you have been learning your arithmetic this year. It will be a short one. I am going to write just 4 problems on the board. I shall expect you to solve them all swiftly and accurately, and to write your answers neatly. You will place your paper in front of you now. You will write your name at the top right-hand corner. Then you will place your pencil beside your paper, sit back in your chair, and wait until I give the signal to begin. Ooh, Miss Plimsoll seems to be kind of stern. Seems like she really likes things her way and like maybe the kids are feeling afraid of her because she walks in, they just get really quiet. And they don't really seem to want to like have extra conversations with her, and she doesn't really seem to want to hear it either. Miss Plimsoll turned to the blackboard and began chalking up the test problems. Tests always made John nervous. Besides, his lips were feeling dry and the taste of chocolate was strong in his mouth. He raised his hand. "Yes, John," Miss Plimsoll asked. "Please may I go get a drink of water? Please, Miss Plimsoll?" he asked in a small voice. Okay, we're going to stop there for today, and I'm going to tell you what's going to be on your exit ticket. So remember, you can get to your book survey, So remember, to get to your book survey, you can either click the link in the description, or you can click it in my schedule. The question I'm going to have you answer today for our story, there's going to be 2 of them. So the first one is going to be, what do you think will happen? So I want you to make a prediction. What do you think will happen when John goes to get a drink of water? And the second thing I want you to answer is, how do you think John will feel if all of like this whole thing with everything turning into chocolate keeps happening? So the first question is, what will happen when John goes to get a drink of water? And the second question is, how do you think John will feel if everything continues to taste like chocolate? All right, go ahead, friends. Do your best work. See you soon.